Have you ever received a short text message like okay, fine, or just K, and suddenly your mind started creating a whole story? Maybe you ask someone, are you upset? And they reply, okay. Then you're suddenly thinking, why only okay? Are they angry? Did I do something wrong? Are they losing interest? The funny thing is sometimes okay really just means okay, but because we cannot hear the person's voice, see their facial expression, or understand their real emotion through a screen, one simple word can turn into overthinking, confusion, and even an argument. Today, I want to talk about a communication problem that many couples, especially young couples, may face. That problem is misunderstanding in text messages. Texting is fast, convenient, but when emotional issues are handled through unclear messages, it can create unnecessary tension between partners. My speech today is titled, Don't Fight Over Okay, Why Couples Should Use the Tone Rule When Texting. Let us look at the problem. Unclear text messages can easily create misunderstanding between couples. In face-to-face communication, we do not only depend on words, we also listen to tone of voice. We look at facial expression, we notice body language. For example, the sentence I'm fine can sound calm, sad, angry, or sarcastic depending on how someone say it. But in text messages, all of that disappears. We only see the words. So when someone reply, fine, the sender may simply mean I'm okay, but the receiver may read it as I'm angry, but I don't want to talk. That is where the problem begins. A neutral message becomes a negative message, not because of what was written, but because of what was missing. According to research by Hall in 2025, text messages often lack emotional cues, which can cause receiver to interpret messages differently from what the sender intended. This means a short message like okay, fine, or K may be misunderstood as anger, disappointment, or disinterest. Another problem is that texting doesn't always allow immediate clarification. When someone doesn't reply quickly, we may start to assume the worst. We may think they are ignoring me or they do not care. But in reality, they may be in class, working, driving, resting, or simply unable to check their phone. They show that many text messages conflict do not always come from real relationship problems. Sometimes they come from assumptions. Now, why does these problems happen? The main reason is that text messages lack nonverbal communication cues. In direct communication, we can hear if someone is joking, serious, calm, or upset. We can see their expression and respond immediately. But through text, we have to guess the emotion behind the message. Ullman, Norman, and Crockett found that face-to-face communication is connected to better understanding and relationship satisfaction compared to relying mainly on text-based communication. This makes sense because direct communication gives couples more emotional information. When those cues are missing, people often replace them with their own assumption. If someone is already worried, insecure, tired, or stressed, they may read a simple message in negative way. For example, if a partner replies late, the receiver might think they are avoiding me. If the partner uses a full stop, the receiver might think they sound cold. If the partner doesn't use any emojis, the receiver might think they are not excited anymore. Of course, emojis and punctuation can help. A smiley face can make a message feel softer. A heart emoji can show affection. But emojis cannot fully replace voice expression and real conversation. They can support the message, but they cannot carry the whole emotion. This is why couples need a better way to text, especially when emotions are involved. This brings me to the solution, the tone rule. The first part of tone is T, type clearly. Instead of sending vague one-word reply, we should try to explain our thought more clearly. For example, instead of replying fine, we can say I'm okay, but I need some time to think. Instead of saying whatever, we can say I feel a bit of tired right now, but we can talk later. Clear messages reduce confusion. They help the receiver understand what we actually mean. In relationship, being clear is not about writing long essay every time. It is about giving enough meaning so the other person doesn't have to guess. The second part is O, observe before assuming. Before reacting negatively to a message, we should pause and observe the situation. ask ourselves, is there another possible explanation? Maybe the person is busy. Maybe they are having a bad day. Maybe they typed quickly and did not realize the message sounded cold. This small pause can save us from unnecessary arguments. Sometimes the best reply is not an emotional reaction. Sometimes the best reply is a calm question like, hey, I may be overthinking this, but are you okay? That is much better than immediate saying, why you being rude? The third part is N. Name the tone. Because texting removes tone of voice, we can add the tone ourselves before discussing something sensitive. For example, we can say, I'm saying things calmly, or I'm not angry, I just want to explain how I feel. Or we can also start with, I don't mean this in a bad way. This helps the receiver understand the emotional meaning behind the word. It also prevents the message from sounding harsher than intended. The fourth part is E. Elevate serious topic. This means serious or emotional matters should not stay in unclear text messages. If the topic is about conflict, apology, disappointment, jealousy, or an important decision, it is better to move the conversation to a phone call or face-to-face discussion. Some conversation need voice, some conversation need eye contact, some conversation need immediate clarification. Texting may be useful for simple updates, but it is not always the best place to solve emotional problems. So before a small misunderstandings become a bigger argument, couples should elevate the conversation. They can say, can we call for a while? I think that is a better explained by talking. In conclusion, texting is convenient, but it can also be dangerous when we depend on it too much for emotional communication. Today, I have explained that unclear text messages can create misunderstandings, especially when short replies or blank responses are interpreted negatively. I have also explained that this happens because texting removes important cues such as tone of voice, facial expression, and body language. Finally, I suggested the tone rule. Type clearly, observe before assuming, name the tone, and elevate the serious topic. My call to action is simple. The next time you receive a short message like, okay, do not immediately assume the worst. Pause first, ask clearly, explain your tone, and if the issue is serious, talk directly. A simple text like okay should not become the reason of an argument. Sometimes the real problem is not what is typed, but the tone that is missing. That's all from me. Thank you.